Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I want to talk to you about why your real estate website is a long-term business investment. Okay, so this is a very popular topic because I'm often speaking with real estate agents, I'm watching online in Facebook groups, and what all the different options are out there today, right? And building a website is not a complicated process and really can be done very inexpensively, right? There are out-of-the-box platforms. We can set up things like Wix and Squarespace, and as real estate agents, we have our broker websites. I mean, we have access to so many different things. AI, of course, can whip up a site and throw it online for us, easy peasy, right? It's simple. We can have something online that says what we do or displays some information that we want it to display. But I think it's important to understand, that's when we do it that way, it's not an investment. We're not really investing in our business. We're pretty much just kind of putting something online. And a lot of times once we do put something online like that in a limited platform, whether, again, AI generated it or whether we're using like a out-of-the-box platform that lets us do certain things, it really doesn't give us full control over our business, okay? So a lot of times we go for these options, either one, because they're super easy, or someone says, hey, we can do this, it's easy, get it up there, or because it's very inexpensive, right? These out-of-the-box platforms sometimes can have maybe less upfront costs or maybe very low monthly fees and things like that. AI sometimes, you can generate something if you know how to do it yourself. You can put it online for next to nothing. Right, but a website really shouldn't be seen as an expense when we do it right. So it's much like owning a home isn't an expense, right? It's an investment in our foundation of our everyday lives. And a website really should be the same. We should look at that the same way, as an investment. Okay, not just something quick I want to throw up, or not something that I'm afraid to spend a little bit of money on. Now, that doesn't mean you have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, $10,000, right, to get this website platform. But, putting a little money into it, the upfront setup, and who you're working with to do that is also very important, okay? Things like Squarespace and Wix, or using AI, it only does what it does. It doesn't know your business. It doesn't have the foundation. It doesn't necessarily have, the experience behind what it is that you're trying to do, or what works in that for your industry and for your business, because it's not the same for everybody. And although we may have similar layouts or similar styles, that's okay, but how we structure that is all going to be different. For example, I have on my website here, I've got a featured property, I've got my featured locations, I've got some call to actions, Las Vegas homes for sale. Now, if I was someone that was out directly marketing one-on-one with individuals within my community, and I'm driving people to my website, or I'm on social media driving people to the website, I might put my information up higher on the page, okay? Because now I'm trying to enforce or reinforce a conversation they already started to have with someone offline, right? My website right now is geared more toward SEO and AEO, and having these, these search engines and these AI bots, chatbots, finding my website and driving traffic to me. So I don't necessarily know, is it a buyer, is it a seller, is it someone who's ever heard about me, right? I don't know those things, so I'm being more generalized in my approach. But if I were specifically, like I said, doing radio ads, doing commercials, or driving people to my website, I'm going to structure it differently. I'm not going to have it the same way. I'm able to do that because this is a website that I invested in, right? This is my home. I'm able to reconstruct walls and put in different floors. I can do what I want because it's my site. I'm not limited by what the technology is, or by my lack of knowledge and how to tell AI to change something for me, right? Those types of things. And not only that, but because I'm in the industry, and if you were working with someone like us at Ballen Brands, for example, then I'm able to help explain that might be the way you do it. Okay, we're working with agents all the time that are, assessing their business and again, using AI, or they have broker websites and they're kind of limited in what they can do, or they're saying, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that. But sometimes that works against their goals. And we know this because we've helped discuss what those goals are and where we're going. So the point is that we have to not only have the ability to actually make those changes, but we also need someone that has experience, right, to talk to. So whether you're talking with other successful agents that are teaching you how to do things, whether you're working with a company like ours where I am a real estate agent as well, and I know what works, and my sister Lori Ballen has been in the industry for, more than a decade and knows what works, right? This is how, when we make an investment in something, this is what makes that all worth it. So when you see your website as an investment, you begin to see that larger purpose and how it can play a role in your day-to-day operations, right? If it's just an online expense that you're paying a couple $100 a month for, and you didn't really put that much into it, or you're not talking to anybody else about it or how you can use it, then it just kind of sits there and you hope it's worth whatever you're spending. But an investment, when we have an investment, again, like a home, like if I own a home, right, I can put into that home, into my everyday life. I can make things better for myself. I can make things more efficient, things like that, right? What I'm putting into it, I'm getting back out of it. And that's super important when it comes to your website presence. So the website's your marketing foundation of your entire business, okay? It's not just an online brochure. Sometimes we use it that way. That's okay, but it does so much more. Right? It supports how people discover you, how they learn about you and your services, and ultimately decide whether they should trust you, right? And work with you. That's not something you want to leave with just a landing page that AI generated for you, right? That's not something you want to, I can do it myself. So I went in and, I set up my own page and it's fine. Okay, great. Well, that's awesome if you have that ability, but is that the right solution for you? For some, maybe it is, and that's okay. But for most of the people that we work with, there's a reason why they've come to us, and they are making that investment in their online presence. So not only represent your brand, it's also how customers interact with your business, right? How it's structured. Well, can I easily, if I'm a buyer, can I easily get to resources of, what can I learn? How do I save and budget for my first home purchase? And, guide to home loans. What different types of loans are there, right? This is all information. It's easy to access, easy to get to. If I'm a buyer, I know I go under buying. If I'm a seller, I go under selling, right? It's that simple when we do it correctly. Sometimes it's not done that way. You'll notice like on our websites, we don't have just a blog link, right? Because in real estate, no one blog category or one blog page suits everybody. Okay, if I'm a buyer, I don't want to sift through seller-related content when I'm looking for buyer-related stuff. So buying, selling, lifestyle, these are actually blog categories. So you have a blog on the site, but it's geared toward and categorized for the specific audiences. See what I mean? So it's not just, I have a link for a blog and I have content, right? That's just the first step. There's so much more to it. This helps us also with SEO. And again, the chat engines, the AI bots, right? This is all part of that structure. This is part of the investment you're making when you do set up a website and look at it more as a core piece of your business, not just, having a presence online. So much like it matters who builds your home, the same is true for who builds your website, okay? I'm not just renting from the motel down the street just to have a roof over my head, right? I'm actually using this as my, the core of my business. Okay, there's technology behind the website. It affects usability, mobile friendliness, search visibility, all of these different things, right? It's a central hub for all of my traffic. Okay, if I'm doing social media posts, it's coming here. I've got my website on my business card. I've got QR codes. I mean, it's literally the place that everybody goes. The one place that I would direct everybody, and not always just to my homepage. Right? Again, if I'm working with buyers, I can send them directly to my buying page. If I'm working with sellers, I go there. If I want just local information because I happen to have someone coming into town and I want to give them hey, here's things to do in Las Vegas, right? Like I have all of that, right? I've got that on the website. I can send them directly to those pages, right? Like that's an investment. That's the idea of, because I've gone all in. I'm not just throwing something up just so that if someone looks me up online, they see I have something. Right? So you understand, like it's critical we have full control and flexibility in your online presence. And you're not limited to a platform that you're on, or you're not limited to what you know what to tell AI or what to ask AI to do for you. Okay, so think of it that way, right? Your website is a long-term business investment. It's not just an online brochure. It's not just an expense. Should you have IDX? Should you have home values? Absolutely, right? If we're directing people here to have these tools or to make use of these tools, or we see our website as valuable, IDX is not on the website just so that someone can do a search for homes, okay? IDX is on the website so that I can specifically, as an agent, send someone right to homes in Las Vegas that have solar power, right? This is the power of IDX. It's marketing. Anybody I'm talking to about green initiatives or whatever, I can send them directly to this page, right? Because I've invested in it. I didn't just set up the site and hope that someone finds it and finds it valuable. No, I'm using the website specifically to build out these pages and to have these tools, to have this available for what I want to do in marketing, so that I can confidently go to anybody I'm talking to, or know that online search engines are picking up this type of information from my website, these keywords. That's all part of it. It's because I see the website as an investment. Okay, if I just saw it as an expense, I would just reduce the cost as much as possible, just leave it online, and then hope I get a lead someday, right? But that's not what we're doing. We are building websites. We are building these investments in your business, and we're making sure we do it in a way that's flexible and compatible with what you're doing in your business. Okay, that's so important. So hopefully that makes sense. We love to do what we do. We very much customize all the different websites that we build, and again, a lot might have some similar looks, but we because there's a certain way that users interact with the website. But your brand, your logo, your colors, where you want your content, how you want that structured on your homepage, all of that can be tailored and customized specific for how you use the website. And what's even better is that maybe you use it this way for 3 months and then things change and we want to kind of adapt it to a different way. Again, if I own my own home and it's a 3-bedroom home, for example, and eventually I need a 4th bedroom, I have that ability to build that on, right? Because it's my investment. It's not a rental that I'm renting from somebody else and I'm limited. I can convert the garage into a bedroom, or if I have, enough space, I can add on a room, right? These are things that I can do because this is my home. This is my investment that I've made in my life and how I want to live. And I've done the same thing, of course, online when it comes to the website and my business. So if you have any questions on this or anything else related to your online investment, what you have available to you, what options maybe you should be exercising or considering, then by all means, please reach out to us at team@ballenbrands.com.